Welcome. Glad everybody's here, and thank you for attending today's event. Most of you here are Leadership Collier graduates, or soon-to-be, or GAIN graduates. And as part of our history as Leadership Collier, and I was talking to a GAIN graduate, and they said that they didn't know how long GAIN had been, or how long Leadership Collier had been around. Well, Leadership Collier's been around since 1989. Some of you weren't even born then, probably, or barely born. Leadership Collier has a really strong history of producing exceptional leaders for this community. So each year, the Leadership Collier Foundation and Alumni Association recognizes a graduate that's displayed significant contributions to American society who have directly and positively affected Collier County's entire community by giving them the Distinguished Alumni Award. I'm going to read off the past recipients of the Leadership Collier Distinguished Alumni Award simply because they're already in your program, but I think you need to hear the names because if you listen to the names, they're people that everyone in this community knows. Don York, Ed McNamara, Bud Hornbeck, Representative Kathleen Pasadomo, Carlton Case, Jeff Fridkin, Al Reynolds, Fred Thomas, who was a classmate of mine, 1992, best class ever, Terry Douglas, Barbara Berry, Scott Sally, Russell Budd, Tom Schneider, Patrick O'Connor, Paul Marinelli, Dave Weston, Donna McNiven, Bart Zeno, George Drabinsky, and Jan Cantor. And George, by the way, Bud Hornbeck was also a class of 1992. There are a few of them here tonight. I believe Barbara Berry, Bud Hornbeck, Jan Cantor, and Pat O'Connor are all here. If they'd all just stand up and we all give them a round of applause. And George. I was honored to be last year's recipient, and it was one of the biggest thrills and shocks of my life. This year's recipient is vastly more qualified and a much better candidate than I certainly was. This person is an outstanding person who's demonstrated leadership by being a dynamic participant in chamber and community functions. He graduated from both GAIN and Leadership Collier, so you now know the sex. And seized every opportunity to develop this community into a better place to live, work, and play. But this recipient has also taken every opportunity to serve the community in every way that he can. This year's recipient's also prepared for every worst-case scenario and plans far ahead on everything. He supports local businesses like Sunshine Ace Hardware rather than the large chain stores. Mike, I know you appreciate that. He's a true gentleman. He's genuine, caring, and his word's his bond. But anybody who really knows him knows he has a wicked sense of humor, and I've been on the receiving end of that. Enjoys the outdoors, and he has at least 2 of every kind of tool imaginable. He's also always out volunteering when he's not working. He's chaired, organized, and participated in all kinds of different organizations and events, from running 5K races to golf tournaments, beer festivals, fishing tournaments. His generosity of time, talent, and treasure, the 3 modes that all of us can give, he has given all of those. You can find him in a ball cap grilling steaks at the Farm City Barbecue, working on a Rotary project, lobstering in the Keys, scalloping in North Florida, just as easily as you'll see him in a suit and tie networking at Wake Up Naples. If you're lucky, you'll get invited to the Everglades for a fishing expedition where he's been known to catch snook, redfish, trout, and tarpon, and if you're lucky, you can pay to fish in a tournament that he chairs. He's now married with 4 children, 2 horses, and a donkey. But a decade and a half ago, he put himself through graduate school as a single dad raising 3 kids. He currently serves on 2 boards, chairs 2 committees, and is a lead-by-example kind of guy. In addition to being a Rotarian, he's also a South Florida local, graduated from Barron Collier longer ago than any of us care to remember, and he owns one of those big green eggs, loves to cook, invented his own barbecue sauce, which he sells in Naples. I've had the personal pleasure to work with this year's recipient in both professional and volunteer roles, and he has always been a superstar in all of those roles. It's my honor to present this year's award to this year's distinguished alumnus. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring someone I'm proud to call a friend, Jamie French, for earning this year's distinguished alumnus. Jamie, this is just a small token of the respect, admiration, and fondness that we have for all of you, and our appreciation of all that you do for our community. Thank you very much. Say a few words. There you go.
I really don't have much of a sense of humor. I've been known to be a bit lazy, and my wife is here. She can attest to that. I grew up right here in Collier County, moved away, swore I would never come back. And I found myself in 2009, as Pat said, single father. Living in Tallahassee, worked for a large corporation, and I recognized how much I missed home. Not so much because of just my family and friends, but because what I remember as a child growing up here. And I've been really honored with some great opportunities through Leadership Collier. I've met one of the best friends of my life, who I dearly adore, almost like a long-lost brother, and Sean Morton, and I blame him for every bit of this. And I will tell you, the one thing that I learned is that philanthropy doesn't necessarily mean opening your checkbook. Give your time, but be passionate about it. I have a great deal of passion for that kid that I get to help, that maybe had never been fishing before, or maybe never had an influence. And I think that we owe it to our community. It makes our community a better place. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.